Hello, everyone. Welcome to our session on Azure Spring Clean 2025 on how Azure policy integrates with DevSecOps pipeline. I'm Nicholas, and I'm doing it with Jacob Franz. Before we get started, I want to say a huge thank you to the organizer for organizing Azure Spring Clean 2025 from Thomas Thornton and Joe Colley. It's amazing to be part of the speakers for this year. So who we are. So my name is Nicholas Chang. I'm a senior platform engineer working at a Microsoft partner called Canis. And I'm a Microsoft Azure MVP. I'm a blogger, speaker, and I enjoy learning about technology. You can find my blog there, and you could follow me on social media with my link tree.
Hey Nick, hey everyone, and thanks for having me. It's lovely to be here. My name is Jacob Frass. I'm a cloud security consultant working at a Fortune 500 technology company. I'm a blogger and speaker, and my social media can be found below if you want to connect. Let's kick off the session with an introduction. So this session focuses on controlling what resources are deployed and how they're deployed and a DevSecOps pipeline using Azure policy. So first, why is this important? Well, when working in any environment, especially enterprise-size environments, you really want to think about the guardrails you have in place to enforce compliance and security. And with Azure policy, you can do just that. So let's say you want to control what types of resources are deployed. Maybe this could be due to a cost control measure you have in place, or specific regulations you need to follow or comply with, which could, for instance, require a specific version of a resource. A good example of this would be a specific version of a Kubernetes container. You can enforce a specific guardrail to prevent you deploying versions that are non-compliant with what you want. We also touch on how resources are deployed in a demo, and what I mean by that is we'll see how Terraform is used to automate and manage deployments at scale. And obviously, infrastructure as code is a widely adopted approach, and it ensures consistency and being able to repeat those deployments at scale in large environments. Lastly, during this session, we'll kind of mention where Defender for Cloud fits in, because security is important and it should never be an afterthought. One of the things Defender for Cloud allows you to do is to detect infrastructure as code misconfiguration very early on. So when you don't perform security scanning within your infrastructure as code templates, misconfigurations can go unnoticed. And really, when you think about it, when you have a specific template you follow and you fail to notice a misconfiguration, what can happen is you can end up with hundreds of resources that are essentially vulnerable and have misconfigurations in them. So it's important to adopt the security mindset very early on and shift left when possible. You should really be aiming to continuously scan your resources pre and post deployment. And that's what we try to cover. Handing over to Nick to give you an overview of the benefits.
So some of the benefits for using Azure Policy and Defender for Cloud is that you can use Azure Policy for enforcing security and compliance during deployment and post-deployment as well. And you can use it, as mentioned, for detecting misconfiguration in your infrastructure code and drift detection to identify any misconfiguration changes in your estate. And you can use it as a security enforcement to reduce security risk as well. And you can easily use Defender for Cloud to remediate and easily help yourself as an engineer to fix any issue that's non-compliant during your deployment. So this is a high level diagram of the kind of the demo that we're going to show, or how you can use it from that involve different stages from Azure DevOps to Defender of Cloud. So Jacob's going to explain it more in detail.
Right. Okay. Thank you, Nick. So first, Defender Cloud will scan your code for security risks and misconfigurations when you push it, such as, for instance, embedded secrets, which is quite a common thing. Sometimes during testing, developers like to embed secrets in code and can forget to remove them. And this will help, obviously, catch those issues very early on, preventing misconfigurations and productions that can lead to security breaches. Um, then we have the Azure policy part, which is a way to enforce the compliance layer. And if essentially if the deployment is compliant, and then and then the rest of the flow will proceed as normal. The resource is going to get deployed, and let's say the resource is non-compliant. For instance, it doesn't it has got something wrong with it, like a specific encryption type is not being enforced, then it's going to get stopped right during the deployment phase. But going back to uh, the part where the resource is accepted and can go ahead with um, deployment. Essentially, what will happen when the resource is compliant and is eventually deployed is Defender for Cloud will still continuously monitor it for misconfigurations and non-compliance. Um, it's essentially a way for you to continuously monitor your resources from code to cloud. Is the best way of putting it. It's a way for you to shift left and adopt a DevSecOps mindset and methodology. I think I've covered that well. But if you'd like a much better breakdown, you can visit the repo where the diagram is available to download and to view.
Yeah, so we're going to show you that in this demo, we're going to show how you can use Terraform to deploy Azure policies, and you can check for compliance or non-compliance, and you can also view the recommendation using Defender for Cloud as well. So I'm just quickly show you. So before we get started, I just want to go through the repo. So this is the repo that Jacob mentioned that we created for you, and it gives you a list of like with the diagram how it works, a bit of information on, and in this repo it has things on like the code used as well for deployment and the pipeline in Azure DevOps. So let me just bring up it. So this is the repo that's been cloned in VS Code, and it contains bit of like policies and then some assignment within the subscription. So I've created two policies for the VM in the policy directory called deny public IP and tagging. So on the left hand side, you see a custom policies called deny public IP address, which should deny any network interface that's been covered with public IP. This is just a custom one because there's Microsoft have a built-in one. So I'm just going to show how you can create a custom policies. On the right-hand side, you can see another policies called tagging, which is kind of more detailed policies. I created this so you can use it to enforce different parameters here. Like resource type would be the subscription extension, or the different type of like resource in Azure. And I have two examples that I use it to restrict tagging on policies. So all the resources must have environment tag and application tag. and that environment should be in sandbox. Otherwise, it would be disallowed by the policies. So once these policies has been deployed using the pipeline, so it would just there's a pipeline here that deployed the pipe the 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 policies and assignments. So I'll show you how it got deployed. So once the policy has been deployed using the pipeline, you should get two policies called tagging and deny public IP, and then you should get like actually two definitions. So definition policies, you may have to change the selection. So deny and block public IP. And then you, for this purpose, I've already assigned it to, manually assigned it to the subscription because it wasn't assigned to it. It's just, you can see there's two because I've just quickly assigned one and to the subscription here. So you can tell it's from this subscription group. MVP subscription is it's the policies. And I'll show the error that you choose when it's non-compliant. So let me just go to Azure policy, Azure DevOps. So yeah, so let me run the pipeline. So when you deploy the code, I recently deployed the code, so I want to show you how you can redeploy it and get the issue. So let me just redeploy it. Sorry, it needs to be redeployed through apply. So my fault, apologies. So apply, because when you do a plan on Terraform, the policy won't be applied. It only be applied on the creation of resources. So once it started do an apply and try to create the resources, you should see the policy one of the policy would take effect, which would deny the creation of the NIC. So I just want to show that to you. So this one will only run once the policy assignment has been assigned to the subscription scope. So let's just run. Let's give you a minute. Let me just do the run. Do the dry run, so you can see everything is good. So this is a VM. So to give you context, this is just a VM that will be created, a basic VM, Linux VM. It will have a NIC, it will have some VNets on it in a resource group. And yep, so it's applying now, and then you'll see, give me a minute. Yeah, so previously I did some tests with the pipeline, so that's why you see so lots of like runs. Apply. Yep, there's no interface. It's gonna try to apply, so you get it stuck. So yep, so this is correct because you get an error message saying you get an error creating a NIC, and you can be being disallowed by the policies, and it's a for free forbidden error. So when you scroll on the right hand side, you can tell it's being disallowed by denied policy public IP assignments. So you can tell that you can see that assignment works because it stops you from deploying the NIC through the VM. And let me show you a brief explanation on Defender for Cloud. So this is Defender for Cloud, and you can view it for any recommendation on any of the resources to risk level as well.
Yeah, so let's say the resource goes ahead and deploys, as I was saying, Defender for Cloud will really apply that continuous security scanning pre and post deployment of your resources. So even if there's a misconfiguration post your deployment, you'll still be notified by Defender for Cloud. It's going to generate recommendations using the CSPM and DevOps features to let you know, hey, there's something wrong. You you need to fix. And yeah, it's really a way of detecting misconfigurations pre and post
Yeah.
deployment.
Sometimes you need to enable the Defender Cloud through the environment settings. If it's not enabled, you choose subscription. So that I don't. So you just need to be aware of that. Let's just quickly. Okay. So just to recap. So Defender, the benefit of Defender Cloud that we just demonstrated is that it's very good practice to use the IAC, so the infrastructure as code to deploy your policies and stuff, and so you can monitor your states for any security breaches and stuff. So, and you can also, before you apply to like production level, always to start with the basic policies and always test it using maybe in a subscription level before you go through the work, like bigger estates, like through the management level that applying through your whole environment. Yes, and you can also enable it with Defender Cloud monitoring in your Azure environment as well. Yeah, so uh, thank you for watching this session. So hope you learned something about integrating Azure policy with Defender Cloud. So any question, you can just drop us a message or you'll have a look at the repo. So it should have all the code that's necessary to deploy your basic Azure policies in the Azure policy and assignments to Azure. And you can, when you turn on Defender Cloud, you can use the recommendation and use it for monitoring your states as well.